A happy Valentine's Day to you once again. Welcome back from the break. It is Morning Rush here on Metro Television with me, Desmond Dukreku Danso and Nanaya Tano Banche. It is time for us to talk this morning. We're going to continue what sort of series on entrepreneurship. And this morning we've got Kingsley Pinkra. He has joined us today also of City, Ghana. And well, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. Great. And also joining us via Zoom, we've got a big man. He's a big man, and I want to take my time and mention everything because people like that who are learned, you need to give them
their flowers.
Yes. So Professor Emeritus Stephen Adei is a renowned economist, as you know, and also social entrepreneur and former rector of GEMPA. And he'll also be joining us via Zoom. So I don't know if he's there yet.
Yeah, Prof has joined.
Oh, Prof, good morning.
Can he unmute himself?
Prof, can you unmute so we can hear you? We're finding it difficult to hear you, Prof. I think Prof cannot hear us. We cannot hear him also. Prof, good morning. Okay, so I will work on that and get back to Prof. But Kingsley, happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you. Thank you. Happy Father's Day too.
This day, have you been looking forward to it or one of these?
Sure. It has come and most definitely.
It's a normal day for you.
Yeah, normal day for you.
It is a normal day.
But in the
not,
past,
we
was
wouldn't
it a normal day for you?
Most definitely. Yeah,
Every day is a normal
For
day.
the guys, for the
Now,
guys,
for why would girls?
no, for the guys, it's normal. Though.
But the girls,
Because we don't receive a lot.
but for the
It's a normal
girls,
day. It is always
Yeah, I was anticipated for it. But yeah, last week we started a conversation on entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Lately, you see a lot of people a lot of young people trying to get themselves busy because we all know the economic situation.
I think Prof is back. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Kingsley, just hold on a bit. Prof, good morning.
Good morning. Do you hear me?
Great. We can hear you now. Thank you for joining us this morning. Hope you are well and a happy Valentine's Day to you.
Same to you. Same to you.
Great. Prof, we are of this generation that they call Gen Z. I'm sure you belong to Gen A, you know. But how was Valentine's Day back then, you know, for you especially?
We had no time for these foolish things of Valentine. We were seriously going to school and working, and not Valentine Day. There was no Valentine Day during our time.
That's an interesting one,
Oh, Prof, but at least, you know, it was a time that you could show love, you know. Just tell us about the love bits for you especially.
We were properly marrying all day, not just 14th of February when you misbehave.
Oh, okay. At this point, so let me push the love aside and then let's get to talk about entrepreneurship. Prof, last week we started a conversation about entrepreneurship. I mean, the youth of this country, people are going to school after school. They are not finding jobs to do, and so some are getting into entrepreneurship. A few are getting it right. Many find it difficult to even begin in the first place. For anybody who wants to begin to do something or become an entrepreneur, what are the basic principles or the basic things that he or she needs to know?
Well, first of all, entrepreneurship is not like a job, and most people are trained to look for somebody to employ them. It requires the willingness to venture out, to take initiative. Oftentimes, an entrepreneur works about 3 times more than an ordinary worker. Long hours, it takes a long time. So the first is to have an entrepreneurial attitude, knowing that in the end, of course, in this age, all the rich people, apart from probably thieves, which we call corrupt people in politics and public sector, all the future rich people will be entrepreneurs. But you must have the attitude that you are willing to learn and to work hard and to identify the opportunities around you. And when I say identify opportunities, actually, even sitting in, looking at us, there are about 100 opportunities around us. This morning we eat breakfast. We are wearing clothes, shoes. We had transport. we probably read a book and the rest. And all it's just opening your eyes to opportunities around you and then willing to seize the opportunity to fill gaps and to be innovative and creative.
That's really interesting to note there. But is entrepreneurship the solution to the unemployment rates that we have in this country, really? And realistically, is that the solution?
It is not the panacea. It is one of the things we have to do as a people, as individuals, as families. But you can't now say it is the solution. For example, for a country or a people to be entrepreneurial, there's a need for the macroeconomic atmosphere. In other words, the environment to work in. There must be business support system. We must educate people and orient them. That's entrepreneurial education. And we must be willing to support people. So it is not one fit all, but definitely at the end of the day, do you know that in Ghana today, we are about 31.8 million. The government of Ghana employs less than 800,000. So the remaining 31,000, of course, half of them are young people, are either in entrepreneurial, some businesses, or self-employed. So actually, the crux of our economy depends upon what the entrepreneurs, the farmer, the small scale, the artisan, the small businessman does. And that is where we must strengthen them. And not, there's no way the government is going to employ the average Ghanaian.
Prof, you are a renowned academician. It was until I got into the university that we did a course in UCC entrepreneurship. Before my mind went into that, and a lot more people. Can we not start this at a very early age in our basic schools so that we would have the idea as we are growing that we could do something like this even as we still go to school?
Well, the earlier we started, the better. But when we were in school, you were talking about Valentine, your time. In our time, every student did gardening. There was artwork. There was crafts. So, therefore, learning to work with head, hands, and heart was part of our training. We didn't call it entrepreneurship. But by the time I was 12 years, I had about an acre of orange farm. So we were learned to explore our environment. So I think that for the younger people, that's what is needed. But as they grow up, for example, if you go to my university, I say my university because I'm a professor there, at Ashasi, all the 4 years, every student, whether you are engineering, ICT, or business, and you must do from year one a course in entrepreneurship, because we want leadership, entrepreneurship, innovation, creativity are the 4 pillars in which we want everybody to be acquainted with. So much so that 10% of our students, their first job is to set up a business. So yes, education makes a lot of difference, how we orient the young people.
Prof, over the years, for people who venture into entrepreneurship, what are some of the mistakes you have identified that they do when they begin into getting into entrepreneurship? What are those mistakes that they get themselves into, but later on will learn and will come out of it?
Well, let me speak within the Ghanaian context. First of all, often people are not willing to learn the basics of entrepreneurship. For example, simple accounting. The average person, Ghana starts the business, he thinks that as soon as some money is coming, it is their money. While they are eating their capital, they go to funerals, they blow it up, Valentine's Day, they blow it up, and all of them. So that's number one. So number two, the discipline of banking, knowing that and making sure that you, even if you are making money, you are on salary. You are not, the business is different from you. as the first case in commercial law case was Solomon versus Solomon. There's even if you own your own corner shop, you are different from your business. And it's out of the business that you are paid, and only profit belongs to you. I think that, and also, oftentimes, people who are just opportunistic. Oh, I hear that if you go to Dubai, there's a market for it. You go and buy it, and then everybody goes there. While there's a discipline of learning the skills and continuing and willing to work hard until you make a breakthrough. Because I find that in entrepreneurship, so long as you can do something faster, better, and cheaper, you will always succeed.
Okay, Prof. And also, Prof, should capital be sort of a problem for someone who wants to go into entrepreneurship? The person goes like, I don't have a capital. Should the capital factor, not having money, be a problem, a blockade for the person not to go into whatever he or she wants to venture into?
Yes and no. I'll tell you that for real entrepreneurs, often, and it may come as a shock to you, money is not the problem. It's not the first problem.
Okay.
Because, for example, if you go to my social entrepreneurship at Ghana Christian International High School, which has a turnover of about maybe, I don't run it now, but say 40 million a year. We started in my house, with the one house being the dormitory, the classroom, the office, and everything else. Oftentimes, true entrepreneurs want to start small. And when they want to start small, often they will get what we call an angel investor, someone will help you. Unfortunately, initially, even no matter what the government does, a simple entrepreneur who is starting is not bankable. And you often have to start small. But there's no doubt at all that if as a nation, with our financial system, we are willing to have risk capital, in other words, to bank on the young people, to start with a small capital, it helps. And as you go along, of course, you cannot expand your business without really getting some capital. But if you have done your books, you have started small and doing well, you'll find out that getting help becomes easier. Oftentimes also, you have to partner with people who may not have the time, the innovation, but they have a little money, they want to be equity shareholder. But often the Ghanaian would like to owe 100%. Whereas a young person, hey, Charlie, if someone says that I will give you 100,000, I will take 25% of your business. It's a good way to do so. So there are many ways. Yes, capital is a problem, but it's not the almighty problem. It comes along the way, yes. It's one of the factors you will need, of course, in order to succeed. But if you are starting up, often you have to start small.
Okay. Prof, it's been awesome listening to you this morning, talk to us about entrepreneurship. But I wonder where you are this morning, though.
Well, let me tell you where I am. I am on my way to Kumasi to attend some meeting, and I've stopped just close to Ajoso in the bush.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much
Thank
for that.
you very, very much.
I thought that you were on the farm. Okay, so that was Professor Emeritus Stephen Adei talking to us this morning. Very awesome presentation there, and he definitely had to do that for us so we could talk on the show this morning. Kingsley is still here in the studio. Last week, it was about the money bit. We ended on that.
Yes.
And I had my own reservations.
I also had my, that's why I had to ask Prof.
Yeah.
Prof is of the view that it's 50-50.
Sure.
Yeah.
It should, but it shouldn't really be a problem. But then, you see, I asked Prof, when you have your mentorship programs and you talk to these people,
Okay.
Prof mentioned one or two things that people, the mistakes people encounter
Sure.
when they are getting into entrepreneurship.
Exactly.
You are close to them. You have a program that you do. You might help someone, and then the person will go, and it might work 50-50 or might not work. What is that mistake that these people or these individuals who come to your program, they go hoping that they have been mentored, and whatever they are going to venture in succeed, and it backfires? What are some of the mistakes you realize that?
Okay. For our side, this has been the first time which we are running. So it's like we are now the initial stage of it. So if I'm to talk about us and how the very feedback itself is going to be, for that there hasn't been any feedback from that end. But in terms of generality, how things since been, I could say how they mismanage their resources in turn always becomes a problem. Yeah, and last week I was we were saying that most of the times capital shouldn't itself be a problem. It has to do with there is a whole lot of funds which is available, not even yourself. There are several, if you have to go even into the theoretical aspect of it, getting funds to even start a business. It's not only, there are several F's which we could consider. So from the founder side, it's very key. So the one who is starting the business, you should be able to have something to begin with. Aside that one as well, to your family could be of help. There are financial institutions which in Ghana here, we are not much privileged to be having that as a startup. And aside that too, your family could also be of help. One aspect.
I guess, sorry to cut in. I guess Prof is on again. We'll take his very last words as we're appreciating him for stopping by on the Accra Kumasi Highway to speak to us. Prof, if you're there, your final advice that you give to young people about entrepreneurship, getting into that, your final advice.
Well, several things go into becoming a successful entrepreneur. First has to do with your attitude, your willingness to apply yourself until you succeed. The second has to do with if you have the opportunity, get yourself trained. And here I'm not talking about going to get masters and really the art of setting up a business, how to do a business plan. In other words, put your ideas together, cost it, and what it takes to do so. Often, especially young people, you may want to align yourself with somebody who has succeeded or discover some sort of niche, supplying inputs to existing companies. In other words, you must identify the opportunity and be creative. But at the end of the day, you must be willing to work hard, because successful entrepreneurs, if you talk about the Zoom Lions and the Tobinkos, the Ibrahim Mohammeds, when they started, they were working for sometimes 16 hours, 18 hours a day until they made a breakthrough. When it comes to financing, be willing to start small. And when you go to people, there are angel investors who will be willing to back you. People like Delta Bank, Kenoforiata, and Togwe Afede. It was here only $25,000 or 6,000 CDs that was lent them by Ishmael Yamson, and that was the beginning of the Delta Bank businesses. So there are many people, but you must go with a credible proposal and be willing to start small and grow. And once you start, make sure that your books are clean. Don't cheat the tax man. Make sure your money goes to the bank, because as you do that one, you will get a credit history. And then when you reach a certain level, you can expand. And we in Ledego and jobs, PE Jobs for All, are willing to give you the necessary training and also seed capital if you go through our program and succeed. So this is one of the things that Pinkra and our team are trying to do, to get about 1,000 Ghanaians to be trained and to be supported both financially and business services, so that we hope that we can create 1,000 entrepreneurs.
All right. Thank you very much, Prof. We wish you the safest of journeys to Kumasi and back to Accra. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Prof.
It's nice to be speaking to you from the bush.
Hopefully you can catch some Accra here. Take you to Kumasi. Thank you
There's
very
a
much.
lot of callbacks on the way.
Thank you very much, Professor Stephen Adei. He's a former rector of Gemba, a renowned academician. He's everything. He's a big man. Talking to us this morning. Pinka, let's come back to you. You talked about e-jobs for all.
Yeah.
Let's just wrap it up as to what you are doing with e-jobs for all and helping keep down the unemployment rate in the country.
Okay, so with the e-jobs for all, as Prof. Adei said, he even happens to be one of the advisors and mentors of the program. What we are offering the Ghanaian youth, it is a project which we are running to address the youth unemployment situation we are facing in the country. So basically, what we are providing is a free entrepreneurship and innovation training, a fully funded opportunity from Queen's University in Canada. We are also providing a free mentorship, which is being led by an organization in Canada, which is Lidogo Incorporated, a network of Canadian business experts who have also come on board to support with the business advisory services as well.
Okay.
And aside that one too, we are also of the view that it's not only the training and mentorship, which is the key. Funding also comes in as well. So we have some investors as well who are also on board, angel investors, impact investors, other staffs as well who are also going to support these entrepreneurs which we are providing. Aside the Canadian business experts who are on board, locally, we have some business experts also who are supporting. Last week we spoke to another Dr. Michael Adei. He also been on part of the program as a mentor. So the successful entrepreneurs in the country, we are bringing all of them on board to assist these young entrepreneurs. So currently we have 1,000 young entrepreneurs which we have selected, and they are going through this fully funded entrepreneurship and innovation opportunity.
Okay.
Sure. All right, Pinka, thank you so much for coming. Do you have any message to any
I wish.
Everyone. Anyway, let me just, I know you have a long one there, but let me just do this one quickly. This one says, happy Valentine's Day to Mabel Asante, who works at Kolebu Medical Ward, and it's from Nana Kwesi Fosujaba, and it's Val's Day, and so you have to deduce whatever you have to deduce from that. So happy Val's Day to Mabel Asante at Kolebu Medical Ward. Okay, great. Let me just do some birthday wishes. I know you have a lot of them today. Happy birthday to Mr. Kenneth Barnes, CEO of My Barnes Limited, from the staff of the company and all your loved ones, especially Miss Irene Etonam Lamte. They wish you long life and more money in your account. Okay, so got to do this one also. Says happy birthday to my dear Jane. May this new year be filled with unspeakable joy and happiness. Have a great one, from Quinton Corte. Okay, moving on to the next one here. It says happy birthday to Franklin Asetre at Leeds, coming from Boga Kofiedu. God richly bless you. Okay, and the final one here says happy birthday to Dickens Joyce Kwele Ashedu of Apostolic Reformed Church Nungwa, and Dickens Geoffrey Oko Ashedu, all from your children. We say happy birthday to you and God richly bless you. So that's how we wrap it all up on the show today. But remember that today at 3 p.m. we're coming to you with the final bit of Metro Lab in the air. We're going to have some couples in the studio, have some fun games and all of that. And I'm looking forward to that. Thank you so much for being a part of the Metro Lab in the air from last week when we started getting your messages and your videos. Yeah. Really do appreciate lots of love messages to their special someone. Let me say happy Valentine's Day to Emanuela Edo and Srimero in Medilab Kumasi. Yes, happy Val's Day. To you, my name is Desi Fading, the Star Boy. And of course, I was here. When Nana Yatano Boache, good shout outs to the production team. Happy Val's Day to the production crew. Enjoy the rest. Up next is Good Morning Ghana. Enjoy the rest of